Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. Reality, spirituality. It's a new experience. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. Reality, spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Reality, spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Reality, spirituality. Oh, now we get real. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get down. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Real good. That's what I'm talking about. Time to get real.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. I'm your host, Rebecca Lynn Norrington, and I want to say thank you so much for being part of the show. Thank you for listening. Sometimes when the universe says it's time, maybe you're not in the same room. Get it? Anywho, I want to welcome all of my new listeners, and for the people that have never heard the show before, you might be wondering, well, what is the show Reality Spirituality is about, and who is this Rebecca Lynn Norrington, and I actually started the show Reality Spirituality, 4 years ago. It sounds crazy to say 4 years, but it's true. And the show has evolved just like I've evolved. I began at a point where I couldn't even put two sentences together. But today, my favorite topic, my foundation, my platform is I am a happiness specialist, a happiness guru, a happiness geek, a happiness freak. And what that means is that in my life, for me, because I don't pretend to know the answers for you, but I do have suggestions that worked for me. But for me, this having a foundation, and the foundation is everything. If you're building a home, you have to have a foundation. It has to be a solid foundation, or even a building, or quite frankly, anything always starts with the building blocks, which is the most important. And for me, that foundation is a feeling of a constant, a never wavering feeling of knowing, trusting, surrendering, and allowing and accepting everything that comes into my, quote, reality. That includes relationships, circumstances. It includes everything. And so what I say is that I am the most powerful person in my world, and it is my responsibility, number one, to feel content, at peace, happy, or not. And what for me, what happens is I'm tested all the time. I'm tested with people. I'm tested with circumstances. I'm tested with society. I'm tested with what's on television. Every single moment is a test, and it's a test to see. It's a test to determine where I am in my own personal evolution, where I am in my own growth. Let me give you an example. I don't know if I've ever shared this one, but are there things? Let me just ask you this question, my dear audience. Are there things that really bother you? Are there things that really bug you? Are there things that just make you roll your eyes and just give you a charge of something's wrong here? Well, when I was in my 20s and 30s and 40s, quite frankly, the list was endless. I always found something or someone to be annoyed with or to find fault with or to find issue with or to judge. And with that, behaving like that, and not behaving, but being that type, being that person, and I'm speaking of myself, being that person, there is no way that I could be content, I could be at peace when I kept finding something wrong in society or in a relationship or in my coworkers. There is no peace when you find, for me, there wasn't any peace for when I found something wrong, because I'm looking at it, I'm focusing on it, there's something wrong with it. So now my foundation is this. And do I have it 100%? 100% of the time? The foundation never changes. See, there could be a day where the moons are colliding and the stars are not aligned, and I'm feeling a lot more sensitive, or I'm feeling more, or I'm focusing on things that I'm finding fault. Those days are far and few between, because for the majority of the time, my set foundation, what I know to be the truth, is that every single person that I encounter, that every single person that I meet is here to teach me, not only to teach me, this is going to be a tough one, just letting you know in advance, every single person is here not only to teach me, not only for me to grow from, but every single person is representing the universe also. This is my take on it. Everybody is representing the universe. And with that, I'm looking at the universe when I'm looking at an individual. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter what country they're from. They are representing the universe. Now, in a way that I would think, how can the terrorists be representing the universe? What kind of sense does that make? I totally get it, and I actually struggled with that. But in reality, in my point of view is that there is a function and a purpose for everything that happens. And the ultimate purpose is to evolve into a race humanity, to evolve as humanity, To evolve as humanity. For humanity to evolve into a point where this prehistoric thinking, this pitting each other against each other, this exclusion of people will no longer exist. There is going to be a uniting as opposed to a dividing. That's what I really believe. Is it going to happen in my lifetime? Well, there is a unification going on right now at this moment. And how do I know that for a fact? Let me share. I know it because I am more accepting, and I am looking at the world and knowing that there is a reason for all of it and a purpose for all of it. And when I change, and when I expand, and when I know and accept it all as a huge, as a intricate plan of the divine, of the universe, of God, of source energy, of spirit, an intricate plan that I can't even begin to wrap my head around and understand, but I definitely know the principles to accept and embrace and to allow it all to unfold exactly the way that it is supposed to. Whatever is going on in my life, I know one thing. It's supposed to be happening. Whatever is happening in your life is supposed to happen. What I found for me, this resisting what is, was one of my biggest mountains to climb and to get over. I want to invite everyone, not everyone, but all my listeners to call in. This is an open forum, and you're welcome to call in and share what you think is humanity's biggest challenge at this time. Now, if you'd like to speak with me, let me give you the number first. The call-in number is area code 646-564-9619. Again, area code 646-564-9619. And if you'd like to speak with me and if you'd like to join the discussion, just press 1 on your telephone, and you will be entered into the queue, and first come, first serve. I have a few people in the queue right now, and, of course, you're welcome to listen via phone, or you're welcome to comment and discuss, or not. This is I am really, really easygoing. I teach a class, it's called The Importance of Happiness, and one of the reasons why I teach that class, it's almost in January to be a whole year that I've been teaching it, and I've learned so much about what is the importance of happiness. Everybody that has enrolled in the class has been looking for, searching for, seeking, wanting to feel happier, wanting to be happier, wanting to feel good. And it's the same journey that I took, this journey of wanting to feel better about life, wanting to feel better about this person in the mirror, wanting to feel better about everything. And I've asked tons and tons of people, do you want to be happy? Well, what do you think the answer is always? The answer is always yes. Of course I'd like to be happier. Of course I'd want to feel better. Of course I want to experience more joy, more peace, more contentment. Of course. Who wouldn't? Especially in this society, on the Western. I don't know what but anyway, that's my point. So what has happened is, little by little, people that come to that class and sign up for that class, they find that it is nothing like what they expected. I don't know what they expected because I can't pretend to be inside their head, but what I do know from my particular perspective is that wanting happiness and wanting to feel better, and when I say wanting to feel better, I'm talking about in every single circumstance. What if you have an incident with a stranger on the street, or a road rage, or a cashier that's rude, or even a person on that you encounter that's rude? How to get in that, how to be in that situation, but still handle it and still behave in a way where you are going to keep your peace. There was a person that was in a class. I'm not going to say which one because I've had tons, so I'm not going to point my finger at anyone. But there was a person in the class that was, and I've got tons of examples, but this is a really big one. And she was complaining about a coworker. And this coworker, and of course I'm changing the situation to protect the real story. And this coworker, they were on the phone together. And this coworker, who just happened to be, she had a higher position, so she was superior. She was a manager, and the coworker had a lower position. So she had that quote advantage. So she felt like she wanted to, she had that advantage. And they were arguing back and forth about they were arguing something about, it doesn't really matter what it was, but they were arguing, they disagreed. Now, she wasn't feeling listened to. And for her, that not feeling listened to was a button, was you push that button, I'm not listening to you. When you can tell when people are listening or not listening, I know I can. I have one of those in my day-to-day Monday through Friday office also. And okay, I'm getting off the subject, but you can tell when people aren't listening to you when they are ready to speak before you even put a period on the end of your sentence. They're ready to talk. They're ready to react. They're ready to go. They're ready for their comment. They just can't wait for you to shut up so they can tell you their version, and they know that they're right. It's really fascinating to witness as opposed to be in the middle of it. And this woman was on the phone, and she didn't feel like she was listened to. And of course, since she's a superior, she said, "This is exactly." She says, because she felt like the person wanted to hang up on her. She could just feel she wasn't listened to. And she says, if you hang the phone up and if you don't listen to what I have to say, I am going to report you to your superiors. I am going to write a report, in other words, ding her record, pulling out the power play. So this came as a discussion in the class, the importance of happiness class. And then I said, and so finally they actually had to get off the phone, and it was a continuance. The discussion or the argument or the disagreement was had to be continued. And so from the phone came the text. Now we have these texts going back and forth, long texts of trying to prove who's right, or trying to prove a point, or trying to make someone else do something. Okay, follow me? Trying to prove a point, trying to prove they're right, or trying to force or make or suggest someone else to do something that you wanted them to do. And I said, and it was right in the middle, and it was huge back and forth, and it didn't seem like it would ever end. Have you ever been in a situation where there's so much back and forth that it's just constant? Let's talk about it, and the discussion turns into an hour, and then the other discussion turns into 2 hours, and then you go back into the past and you bring crap up from the past, and the discussion keeps going on and on and on and on. Well, I was the queen of that. I could argue with somebody and talk about what happened yesterday and keep bringing it up forever, for weeks. I could even go back from a year. I could go back and bring up a point that I thought hadn't been resolved a year ago. Are you relating to this? What happened was I suggested, because of course I'm a happiness specialist, I suggested that let's nip it in the bud. You want to be happier? You want to feel better? You want to feel better instantly right now? Is that what you really want? What I suggested is to respond like this, to begin the discussion, the next discussion, like this. I regret and I apologize for saying that I was going to report. You got to, that was number one. For using your power or your influence, and I'm going to report you, that was number one. And as soon as I started giving my suggestions, I regret or I apologize, there was another student in the class who sprung up and said, never apologize if you think you're right. Never apologize. And I was quiet, because that is exactly what I'm talking about as far as wanting more happiness. If you are committed, if you make a commitment, and if you prioritize happiness, what I have found is that I it is a requirement to do a lot of surrendering, to surrender with all of it. If somebody thinks that they are right, and I'm arguing with them back and forth to try to convince them that they're wrong or try to convince them of my point, there's no peace in that. There's no happiness in that. There's no contentment, at least for me, there's no contentment in that. So I don't need it. I surrender. You're right. I apologize. And quite frankly, it was my fault. This back and forth, going back and forth with somebody with no resolution, I am contributing to that conversation. I am the one that is keeping that conversation going. What harm is it? Not harm. What power? How much power is it to come back and say you're right, but not to say come back and say you're right. Okay, you're right. Not like that, but in true acceptance of the other person's place and point of perspective. I might not agree 100 times out of 100. I don't agree. But when I prioritize happiness and contentment, all I can do is accept, because agreeing doesn't mean approving or doesn't mean that's exactly what I would do. Agreeing is accepting another person to have their perspective, to have their opinion, and to be okay with it. Total acceptance of other people is one of the most challenging places to stay as a human, as a person. But it is necessary, without a doubt, no exceptions, in that foundation when you want to experience more happiness. Accepting others and their point of views is a totally different feeling of pushing against and resisting others with their point of views. And that could go, and that could be a huge blanket of circumstances, from religion to politics, right? I mean, how divisive are those topics? Religion, politics, social injustice. How divisive is that? So when you really get to a point where you prioritize happiness, divisions cannot be included. Acceptance is the only way. Doesn't mean that you're going to sit up there and go to their rallies and you're going to fight for what they believe in and you're going to pass out flyers to help them out with, killing the trees on the south side of the planet. I don't know. That doesn't mean that, but what it means is that you accept what you don't have any control over. Accept what you don't have any control over, because hold on a second, we have a few people that want to talk in this discussion, and I'm going to get right to you, because the only thing that you can change is yourself. And so with that, changing and accepting is changing. I'm going to go to my first caller, area code. Let's see, hold on a second. I have a few callers. I'm going to go with people who are from the bottom up. How's that? People that called in last. Because I never do that. Area code 347. You are live on Reality Spirituality. Welcome. What is your first name? Hi.
Hi, it's Jessica. I have to talk a little bit low today.
Sure. Go ahead. Are you on a speakerphone?
No, I have a headset in. Is that
okay? That's fine. That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. So I live the philosophy that you talk about. I like listening to your show, and I've called in before.
Hi, Jessica. I remember your voice.
Yes.
Or how about this? I remember your energy, because we've had discussions before. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So what if you just keep surrendering and you just, because I like what you say, hey, I didn't plan out my life to be this way, so I might as well just enjoy the ride because it's happening, anyway, kind of deal. I know you don't say it like that, but I'm just kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I get it.
But right now I'm in a place that I don't like really any element of my life. And I have been,
sorry, hold on a second. Let me laugh it out, sweetie, because that is like that is so perfect and so common, because join the club. Okay, keep going.
I know, and I appreciate you making light of it. So it makes me feel better, because I could share it and we get it,
Mhm.
So because I've gone through the phase that I have been all proactive and trying to change this and applying for different jobs and actively, and this has been maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years adventure of let me consciously create my life. And I've been setting intentions, and I have been taking inspired action, but this is where it's brought me to this place where I feel sort of totally out of control, and also at times totally unhappy. And someone would say, well, go fix it. But I really have no idea how to fix it, because I think the human perspective is wow, it's a major mess. The soul is whatever, it'll all work out. But I don't know. I feel like I've been trying to let it all work out for 2 years now. It hasn't really worked out. So.
Ooh-wee, this is so
Take it away.
This is so good.
Take it away.
Well, because you hit on. I mean, I'm over here smiling. I'm really smiling because this is a perfect example of what you're talking about. And let me tell you something, Jessica. I have been where you are. Nothing's working out. What the hell's going on, universe? F you, universe.
Exactly.
Listen, not once, not twice, all the time, of course. Yeah. And let me tell you what is really going on. Because you said a few things. One of the things is that you said in the beginning, you set your intentions, and you want, you create your own life, and you've been trying for a year and a half, and this is well.
It's exhausting.
And I don't know.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
it got me exhausted. So now I'm whatever, who cares?
And let me tell you why you're exhausted. You ready?
Yeah.
Because you think that you are supposed to make something happen. You think that you are instrumental in making anything happen. And I'm here to tell you, honey, sweetie, Jessie, you have no control of what's happening. Now, the exhaustion comes from trying to control and trying to make something happen. And you said inspired action. Yeah, the only thing I do is be inspired. Now, and when you are inspired, but there's a really, because you say inspired action, but it really, to me, it really doesn't feel like inspired action. It feels like, well, this is what I want, and I'm going to label it inspired action. Because when you have something that, are there things that you want? Yes.
Yeah,
hello?
There's loads of things I want.
Well, that's your first problem. And I
haven't been able to release that. I mean, that's been years. That's been 20 plus years of loads of things that I want and haven't come. Yeah.
And I'm laughing because, and I'm chilling up here, when I chill, it's the truth. And I'm laughing because, Jessica, you don't think there's things that I have wanted and wanted and wanted and wanted until I got hit in the head. Okay, hold your right hand up and look at your palm. Look at your palm. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, very gently, don't overdo it, but hit your head with the side of your palm. Like, what the hell was I thinking? That.
Right.
Got it?
Uh-huh.
And so this is the thing. Finally, after all of these years and decades, and this is huge, it will never be about what I want. It will only be about what the universe wants for me. I had to give up everything I wanted. Now, whose plan is you know what whose plan is I don't want to use the word better because I don't like labels, but whose plan is whose plan, okay, so you have two choices. This is Jessica's desires and what the universe wants for you. And what the universe wants for you is what you really need. See, you think that what you want is what you really need to evolve. And the universe is saying, no, we know what you need to evolve, not you. Honey, I'd have my show on OWN right now. I'd travel all over the world with these little workshops on happiness every weekend, 5-star hotels. Don't you think I want? Guess what? But that's not happening. Whatever, at least it isn't right now. Whatever is happening right now in your life is supposed to be happening. It is the universal plan. Now, nothing is going to change right now. In other words, you can't change whatever's going on, whatever's happening, but you can change your perspective about what's happening, because you said, I hate it all. I don't like it. This isn't what I wanted. Everything. I'm unhappy with all of this crap. Right?
And I played that I feel teary-eyed, even hearing about your dream and being like, well, it's not happening right now. I mean, that makes me so upset.
But it can't make you upset, because that's what, when you say it's making you upset, that's what you're really saying is, universe, I know what's better. I know what's best. I know what's best, universe.
But it seems
that's what you're really saying.
But it seems like other people are getting what they want. That's the thing. There's another element here too, is that we go through all this spiritual growth, this journey, but then there's the other element of people in their 3D realm of maybe some people who you're teaching or who whatever. No one's really looking up to anybody who's spiritual. That's the thing, because I think in the final, you want someone who masters the spiritual realm but also can master the physical realm, and that does mean money and success, and I'm talking about financial success, in power and all of that. There has to be that element. I know that's a belief. It might be a false belief, but I don't think it is. I think that when you master both.
No, it is a false belief. It is a false belief. It is a false belief that you think that. You said so many things, but let me just start with this false belief. It is a false belief that this world. See, there's a big difference between human and universal thoughts and beliefs. And the human and our ego thinks that, that is success. Having a lot of money, traveling, speaking is success. Listen, I look at these people. I know these people that, wow, they've got millions of people listening to their radio shows. Oh, look, they can command thousands of people at a talk. But number one is that's their journey. And looking out, one of the things that is really will get you into and it's not easy, I'm still there with you, is to look at other people and think that they have what they want. Because what I've discovered, Jessica, I've been around a lot of people that would think that they are, quote, unsuccessful. But I've been behind the scenes. And quite frankly, take away everything that they have. Take away their money, in fact, my second book is The Illusion of Wealth, Power, and Fame. Take away their money, take away all of it and put them in one-room shack. Who are they?
Oh, miserable. Yeah.
Huh?
Miserable, no character. I mean, I get it, but I still want it. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you want, and see, but again, it's still you think that when you want it, you're going to be happy about it. You think you want it because, number one, that's what you want, and that's what you think is going to be the best, and then you can help others, and then you can, all of that crap, right?
I just think that there's that quote that, like, God or the universe wouldn't give you a desire without the ability to make it happen. Do you not believe that? Oh,
really?
Like, I think that we have our certain dreams because they're meant for us.
Well, let me say this. I have given up. Okay, let me say this. Everything that I desire is aligned with what the universe desires with me, what desires for me. And guess what? I have no idea what that is. And I don't care anymore. That's what I'm talking about, surrendering. Whatever it is, I know it's the best. The desires, the wants are big, huge problems. I'm talking about for me, because I can't talk for you, but they've been problems for me. Every time I've had a want, now I'll tell you what I desire. I desire to be more aligned with the universe. I desire to be the example of the universe on earth. I want to be more connected. I want to be more conscious. I desire to be in the zone more than not. I desire to be okay with everything that the universe is bringing me. That's my desire. They've shifted. It's not really about things and accomplishments and getting out there. My desire is whatever the universe desires for me. Write that down. That's a good one. My desire is whatever the universe... Huh?
I think that the universe desires what you desire for yourself, too. I mean, I think it is... You are in alignment. I mean, don't you think that... I think there's a fine line between surrender and, like, giving up.
No, giving. Let me say this, and I totally get what you're saying. Giving up. I'm not. Listen, I'm in the middle of this. Okay, let me give you my my password for one of my computers. It's a long sentence too, and I have to change it every month. And it says, "What else is possible in September 2015?" What else is possible? That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for anything specific. I'm not asking for anything that I think I know. What else, universe? In other words, being okay with uncertainty and allowing the universe to drive this car, to drive this journey. And I get that you're thinking that you don't want to give up your desires yet, and that's okay. I didn't want to give mine up either. And I don't know how many years I struggled with what I wanted because I just knew it was the best, what I desired. Desiring is, let me say this, desiring is a man-made concept. See, you weren't born desiring. You learned that you want, that desiring was desired intentions. You learned that. That's the truth. So you weren't a 1 year old or 2 years old or 3 years old having these desires. Am I right?
That's interesting. I don't know. I never thought about that before.
Yeah, so whatever, exactly. So whatever, see, you have to really pay attention to, is this an ego thing, which I think it is, or is it a universal? So it's always an unlearning. I've had to unlearn. I've had to undo all of the things that I thought, this is alignment. I want the good of the world, good for me, and then I can spread the good and good. And I've had to allow the universe to work through me, and I don't know which direction I'm going, but I definitely know that it is the best direction. See, you're feeling all of this unhappiness and dissatisfaction because you're resisting what is going on in this with you right now. You don't think that this is right. You think there's something wrong with where you are. You think there's something wrong with where you are. And I'm here to tell you that the universe, this is the plan. And you know what? Listen, okay, now you're opening up a whole can of worms. Thank you for this call. No, really, this is really, really big. This is really big. I'm just talking about my journey. And I got to the point where I said, none of this isn't what I wanted. And the universe talked to me specifically. Ready? And they said, we've given you the lottery ticket. We've given you a lottery ticket, and you don't even realize what it is. I'm like, what? What is it? And the universe said, we've given you consciousness. That is the greatest gift that anyone...
I really don't care about that anymore. I really I've had enough. I mean, don't you think you get to a certain level and it's like, what am I why do I keep it? Like, I don't even care about that stuff anymore. It's just a heated topic for me. I've just been feeling devastated the last several weeks. I just...
okay.
Because it's finally the thing is it's finally gotten to a point that I just have to release, all of this. It's the old programming. It's just like what you're saying. The desire is, I have to release that and just surrender more, I guess. But I'm just not happy about it. You're at such a level of consciousness that this is my experience. I won't speak for you. My experience is I could live amongst other people, but most people don't even understand me.
Of course not.
A total disconnect. So who cares? Who cares about having high consciousness? You can't even get along. It's not get along. It's like you can't even... At least before, I used to be able to have normal conversations, and I never thought that anything was... I felt different, but I never... now it's confirmed. It's hard to explain. It's just...
Okay, I'm feeling you. Yeah. Okay. Hold on, sweetie. Hold on.
Okay. I'm blowing
No, I get it. No, this is so good. This is so good. And what I found, Jessica, the same thing that you just said. People don't understand. People in that class don't get it. They don't get me. And guess what? It has become a journey. That why am I looking to people that are, quote, unconscious to have a conversation with? In my real life, in my real everyday life, I don't even talk. What I do is a lot of listening, because it's like I'm speaking a different language. No, people don't understand it. People don't get it. We're 1%, Jessica. 1%.
I know, but it's it's not.
You're not accepting that.
In a way, it's a privileged 1%, but in another way, it's like, who the fuck cares? This is my life.
Well,
I'm not looking.
It is privileged, and you are chosen. But it's you're at that point, sweetie. You're at that point. So let's do this. Where are you? Are you sitting down?
Yeah, I am. Now I am. Yeah.
Okay. Close your eyes and start taking some deep breaths. Start taking some deep breaths, because we're gonna call the universe right now. We're gonna do a 3-way conference call. Yeah, let's do this conference call. Deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Deep breath, and then and ask one question. What do you want to know? One question.
I mean, honestly, I don't fucking care. I don't really speak to, lately, this past week, I haven't really even spoken to my guides or angels. I just don't fucking care. So there is no question, because I feel like it's gotten me nowhere. I feel like, well, no, it's gotten me here, which I'm not happy about. So I don't even want to hear it.
This is so good. Okay. This is so perfect. Jessica, I've been exactly where you are. In fact, I was there a few weeks ago. I was like, you know what, universe, I'm ready to check out. this place is screwed up. I totally get it. I get it. I really get it. But if I was supposed to be in another spot, guess what? A truck would have hit me a month ago.
Yep, I get that too.
So it's really they are beating you senseless because you're that important and because you are chosen.
For like close to 2 years now. It's like enough. It's really enough. I ask for mercy like every single day. I tell them, this is enough. Like I've had enough of this.
Yeah, it is enough. It is enough. But you still have desires and wants. They want you to give up. Listen, let me tell you a very famous story, and I think you've heard of it. I think his name was Jesus Christ. Poor Jesus.
Can I just share something before you share the story? Because I want to hear the story, but I think I need to get this out first.
Please.
The fear is that if I release my desires of X, Y, and Z, and times 100 more things that I desire, then it's like I'm going to be the same, I think, I'm going to be the same as that person who goes to a shitty job, who hates their job, who comes home, who just sits in front of the TV and just dies a slow death. Like, that's how I feel like I am now. If I'm not actively pursuing my dreams, if I'm just saying, fuck it, because I'm exhausted even making any attempts to do anything, and I understand this is all in divine timing that this has happened, but what is my life then? At least I had a hope of something before. If I let go of the hope, I just feel like I'm going to die inside. Like I feel that death happening this week. Like it's just. So again, I guess that's the death of the ego hope.
You're actually. I wish I was right next to you because I would just hug you, and then I would slap you.
That's so healthy.
You know what I'm talking about? A little love tap. Exactly. Yeah. And let me tell you one of your biggest challenges. And I had it. It was so part of me that it was who I was. You ready for this?
Yeah.
You are taking this life way too seriously. Squeak, 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 squeak. You are taking this life too seriously. You are taking this journey too seriously.
Well, I want it to be good. It's my last lifetime here. I know that. So, and again, it goes back to that. I know that if you have desires, that they're meant to happen. You see so many people with like dreams that have not happened, and they are just dead inside. Like they had to settle again for some shitty job. I can't live that life.
Okay, so see, there's looking at other people and finding something wrong with their life is something that I used to do too. Oh, there's something wrong with my mother. There's something wrong with this person. Their shitty life, 9 to 5. Looking at somebody else and thinking that there's something wrong with their life is very, very, very judgmental, and it's not, and it is part of the problem. It's part of your problem. Looking at somebody else, it's like looking at a tree or a rose bush and telling the universe that tree or that rose bush is not supposed to be here because they're not growing to their full potential. It's not an award-winning rose bush. It's just a regular rose bush on a regular street. It's not in some contest to win a rose contest.
Yeah, but you can feel the person's energy and you see that they're upset, like they're not happy.
And that's another thing I used to do. I used to look at people. In fact, I had a conversation with an unconscious person the other day that I've known for over 20 years. I did. And I told him, I said, I'm in this place. I have to accept people, everybody. I have to find the good in everyone. And he basically said, he says, well, I don't even want to try to get to that place. He says, I like getting pissed off. I like getting mad. And these people, where you look and you say they're unhappy, no, they're not, Jessica. You would be unhappy if you were them, but they're perfectly happy. They are happy the way they are. You would be unhappy. Yeah.
That's true. I just had a conversation the other day with somebody about that, and it dawned on me, yes, thank you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So okay. That's number one. And looking at and anytime anytime anybody else is in your head, looking at them, they have they have their dream, or they're working for their dream and it's working for them. Well, you're actually drinking poison at the same time, looking and comparing other people and their dream and their journey. You have no idea what they're going through or why their insides, or if they're conscious. 99% of the people, I don't care the highest spiritual leaders you want to talk about, conscious, what are they really, fine, great books, great insight, great information. Thank all of you people, but what are you living? How are you walking it? Do you really know that?
Well, it's not always in alignment. We'll just say that, because I know.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's number one. We don't need to do that anymore. We don't need to look at people anymore. We don't need to look outside. Okay, let's get back to you.
Yeah, tell about Jesus Christ, though. I want to hear about him, too.
I forgot about that. Okay, okay. Thank you for reminding me, because I'll get off in a second. Tell me the Jesus Christ story. Okay, I will, which is one of my favorite stories. Now, listen, Jesus Christ was the Son of God, supposedly, right? This guy came here with this huge responsibility. And his responsibility was, quite frankly, it's the same as mine, is to be the physical example of the universe. And before all of that, all of his teachings, and by the way, Jesus Christ was broke. He didn't have a job. And Jesus Christ didn't have any titles, and Jesus Christ had to rely on other people to supply his donations. He was as poor as anything, and he only had a 200-mile radius. I mean, all they did was walk in those days, walk and get on camels, I guess. Who knows? But really, let's.
So how is that even?
Oh no, I'm not finished. Hold on, because I didn't even get to the punchline. This is the punchline. So all of these teachings, and then they come up, and now he's ridiculed. He's not understood. He's mocked. Guess what? He gets a death sentence. And the night before the death sentence, he's going through everything that you're going through right now. He's in the garden. He doesn't want to die. Why are you doing this to me? What did I ever do to you? Blah, 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 blah. He's having a conversation with God. And I don't want to die. Nobody talks about that Jesus, the human, didn't want to die. Who wants to die? He dies. He gets humiliated. He's tortured, a slow death, and now is nameless forever. But the point is this. He was broken down all the way. He had to surrender to the will of the universe. He didn't want to die. It wasn't his choice. But it still comes back to, it wasn't his desire. He didn't want any of that. It's the same, just modern day.
But why would anyone want to, why would anyone want to walk in his footsteps? Like, that is not something that is
I am walking
admirable, I don't think. But why? Why would you want to? Like, that was not an exciting life. Like, I don't know what the word to put on it. But it's just...
Let me say this. My life has never been more fulfilling right now, ever. I cry over the smallest things because now I can see the beauty in the world. The smallest things. Next week, I'm about to change this woman's life. I teach this water class, and she has been, it's for 5 years, every Saturday. And she's been afraid of the water for 5 years. And yesterday was the first time I said, and every year I ask her, You want to go out in the deep end with me? I'll hold on to you. She doesn't swim. She's terrified of the water. And yesterday I asked her, because next week is the last week of the summer session, and I said, "Do you want to go out to the deep water with me?" And yesterday was the first time that she said, "Yes, I'll go with you next week." I'm looking forward to bringing this woman into the deep side of the pool, and I'm having tears about it because it's going to change her life. It's not about what I think. It's about whatever the universe puts in front of me. And yes, I am. That is my desire, to be the universe. And that's exactly I am the example. But I don't need what if somebody said you want $5 million or you want to be able to change this woman's life on a Saturday afternoon, what am I going to say?
I'll do both.
Touche. Touche. You're fighting with yourself.
I am.
And let me say this, and you're fighting with the universe, and you're losing. You're losing because of how you feel. Huh?
I am losing. That's what's so devastating, too.
And you're losing because of how you feel. And as soon as you shift your perspective, and as soon as you give up, and as soon as you realize that is the only way, because you are chosen, dear. You're chosen. But listen, it might take a year, might take 5 years, might take 10 years. It may never happen. But I'm telling you right now, just like you look at these people and they're watching TV and they have a job that they hate and they're going to, what a life. I'm feeling that for you. I'm saying this girl has all these gifts and she's not giving and she's not surrendering. Wow, what a waste.
For me, I think it's like, I don't know what that leads. If I surrender, if I say, okay, fine, have me be a servant of people. And I don't even know what that, I just don't know what that, it's that unknown. It's like, Yes,
that's what it is. It's not being okay with the unknown. It's not being okay.
You admired, you're like, okay, well, I want to be like Jesus Christ, and I want, that's my path too.
No, I am Jesus Christ. I am Jesus Christ. I don't want to be like Jesus. I am Jesus Christ. I am not only Jesus, but all these other people that are teaching the same thing.
Right.
I am what Eckhart Tolle teaches. I am that. So I'm in that school. But that doesn't mean that I have everything that I need. I have everything that I need right now. I get it, sweetie. I really do get it.
Yeah.
And it's just the last inkling, the hardest thing to do. And I have a son who's 30 years old. The hardest thing to do is to give up. And another thing you are really into, that always makes a person miserable, always, 100% of the time. You know what else you're really into? Not only thinking that this is so serious, but you're into the future.
I just want a good life, and to me, a good life means living the high life. And there's a fear that's not going to happen, and...
Okay, you're in the future. Yeah. The future, staying in the future, looking at the future, wanting the future will always keep you miserable. Always.
Well, I want it now. I'll take it now. I get it. Well, thank you. I know you have other callers, so.
Well, it's too late now because the show's over.
Really?
You know what? This was such a good call, though. It was totally off topic, but it was very, very necessary. So let me recap. The reason why what?
I took some notes. Yeah.
The reason why you're so miserable right now is because your perspective, you think something's wrong. The reason why you're so miserable is you're taking everything so seriously. The reason why you're so miserable is you're always in the future. It's just future, the future, what I want. The reason why you're so miserable is because you're still trying to control. The reason why you're so miserable is because you're not willing to surrender just yet. And the reason why you're so miserable is because you're not okay with uncertainty. And the other reason why you're so miserable is because you think your plan is better than the universe's plan. How's that for a wrap up? which is like 99% of the population.
Yeah.
And you know what I like about you, too?
Yeah.
Number one, I like that you're so honest, and number two, I like that you're so angry and you're so mad. But see, you're consciously angry, and you're consciously upset, and you're consciously unsatisfied. Honey, you're exactly where you need to be.
Yeah, and I definitely do know that. It's perfect timing with the eclipses and everything, and this is.
Go back to that little child. Go back to that person that's 2 years old and think about it. And think about the state. You know what? That's your assignment. Your assignment is to go around some kids and watch and see 2 years old, 3 years old, and see and ask them, hey, what's your desire? Now watch them look at you like you're crazy. So you really want to get back to that. I think that was one of the things in the Bible, to go back to being a child, and that's the meaning behind it. How we were brought into this world is how we are supposed to be living, with no judgments, with no comparing, with no looking at something and thinking that it's wrong. You know, a child could be sitting in the front yard. The house is burning down right next to them. There's a tornado, and they're up there playing with their toys.
Yeah. I'd like to work with kids. I was thinking about that yesterday. I was at this carnival. Mm-hmm. And they're just so fun. I just think it's so healing for me to be around them.
I just said that. I said that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. And then you need to do that, and then you ask the universe. You say, how can I live? How can I be more like a child? And let it go. That's it. How can I be more like a child and let it go? You're too grown up. You're buying in. You're drinking the Kool-Aid, honey. You're buying into what man thinks is important. That's all it is right here. You're buying.
You know what? I've let go of so much of that stuff. But you say so. This is what came up. That it's hey, you're still holding on to this. I've cleared so much of the programming, and it's
you still have more. You're still programmed. We got to put you back in the oven. You're still programmed.
Yeah.
You know I love you. Oh, my God, what a great call.
Thank you. I really enjoy listening to your radio show every week. So sometimes I hope that, I wish that you would, be on for longer, or I just could listen to it over and over. So thank you.
Oh, well, you're welcome, and I'm getting chills because it is a good show, and it's only a good show is because I'm sharing all of the crap that I've had to go through. And I tell my son, listen, I got the answers to the test because I've been Jessica. I've been where you are. And I'm not saying that I don't have moments. I have moments of conscious anger and conscious pissed off of the universe. What the hell is going on? And they said, oh, so you're not surrendering, so you think your plan's better? No. And then I sulk for a couple of days, and then I have a few cocktails. I have my Don Julio Blanco, and then I get back on track.
Yeah.
It's not that serious.
I am very serious, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's really
serious.
What?
I don't know. I like that seriousness. I have Capricorn in me, so it's
that Capricorn needs to be kicked out. No more Capricorn. No, it's not serious. No, it's really not serious. And that was really hard for me, because I took everything so seriously. Okay.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Call anytime. I love it, and I love you, and thank you for stimulating me to get to, to share. And this phone call is going to be helpful to thousands of people, maybe one or two that listen to the show. See, who cares? How many numbers? Who cares? Are you telling me you're putting your happiness because of numbers, because of extra zeros at the end of in the bank account? You are what? Hell no. No.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah, that was a lesson too for me the last several years. So, yeah. Well, thank you. I love you too. Thank you for this call, and thank you for speaking with me and guiding me back on the path.
You're welcome, sweetie. And I feel a little bit of a shift, just a little, but you still have some resonance. That's okay. Just a little. There's a little shift there, but and relax with it and know that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And you know what? Why don't you start thanking the universe for where you're supposed to be, even though you don't feel like it?
Well, that's what started this upset. Because you normally go around thanking for everything in my day, but I got very upset and moody the last several days, and I haven't been able to be thankful, even though I've been trying to force myself. So that's what started this eruption going on. Yeah, that's what brought this on.
Well, let me say this. When you don't feel like being grateful or thankful, don't. You think I'm grateful? In fact, don't tell anybody. I hope nobody is listening. But I think this gratitude thing is highly overrated.
I got into it. I started really liking it. That's why it was really pissing me off that I wasn't grateful anymore for things in my life. That I never liked the gratitude thing, but then I got into this zone for like a good several weeks, month, whatever, and then I hit this part. Yeah. So you're on it. Yeah.
Yeah. When I say highly overrated, I'm talking about, I'm going to be grateful. What people say, I'm going to be grateful. Just be grateful. No, it's more than just being grateful. It's a lot of things. It's more than just being grateful. So that's why I said it's overrated. You've got to really trust. See, that's another thing. Write this down. You don't trust.
Well, I do. I think it's stepping up to another level. That's the thing.
That's
again.
Right. That's
it's
right.
A limited trusting.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. More. I'm telling you, the trust level. I got it to. Honestly, it's 100. It's 100% right now for me. 100%. Only because I kept hitting my head against the wall for years. I got to do what else do I have to trust? When you get to a level, when you get to 100%, 150 doesn't even make sense. When you get to 100% trust, believe me, even these experiences, even this hitting a wall and not being happy and being angry, it's still okay.
Well, you know what? I feel like I found my gratitude again because I'm grateful for this exhaustion because now I understand it. Like that's why it was like it's just time to let go of this old way of being. Because the exhaustion was really concerning me. Like every day, I've been struggling with it. So
they're beating you down. The universe loves to beat the conscious ones into submission. Listen, they killed Jesus. They killed him. That was a raw deal, if you ask me. So it's the same kind of analogy. Now it feels like you're being crucified, and I'm not saying it with any kind of disrespect to Jesus, but it does feel like you're being crucified. This time when I felt like, oh my God, is really universe? You really want me to accept this? It really feels like you're being beaten down, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's how I've been feeling for a while.
So there you go.
I'm like, enough already. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. So
that's right.
So that's why I had to come to peace with where I took a part-time job at like a landscaping place, like the most random things I'm doing now. So I was like,
perfect.
So that's
random is the key.
Yeah.
Yes, random is the key. Please stop trying to make sense of anything. Okay?
Yeah.
That's your assignment. All right, I guess I have to end the show.
Yeah,
I love you.
Thank you very much. I'll be listening next week. I love you too.
Okay, all right, sweetie.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. What a great call, audience. I mean, are you kidding me? I know our discussion was about what's the biggest problem facing humanity, and I'm telling you, that is the biggest problem. Our problem, the biggest, in my humble opinion, the biggest problem facing humanity is not being able to look in the mirror and make the necessary adjustments. Now, I'm not talking about people that can't make adjustments or not making adjustments for whatever reason, but consciously, if you're conscious, then it's always you. It's never anything external. It's looking in the mirror and making the adjustments. And if you can't make the adjustments, which, and I, like I said, I get to a point where I'm just, oh God, are you serious, universe? More of this crap? Then when that happens, I go into just allowing, accepting, trusting. But it never stays like that. It never feels like that forever. There's an ebb and flow in life, always ebbing, always flowing. Nothing stays the same. And how can I help it, and how can I assist is by trusting universe. I trust that whatever is happening in my life, whatever I'm experiencing, is exactly what I need. Why? It's happening for my betterment. It's happening for my growth. And let it go. Surrender. But universe, I don't have. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Give up. Give up, people. Reality Spirituality is heard. Actually, I'm thinking I'm just doing the show on Sunday, so let me just say this. Reality Spirituality is heard every Sunday. You can go to my website at www.RebeccaNorrington.com. That's RebeccaNorrington.com. Follow me on Twitter at RLNorrington. And if you've enjoyed the show, I love the show today. One of my favorite shows. Of course, I say that because every show is designed by me. I had one direction, and the universe took me in another direction just with this show. I had one direction that I was inspired to talk about, open forum, and the universe took me in another direction. Well, I wanted to go. No. Whatever the universe, whatever is happening is supposed to be happening. Your job is to flow and not resist. Remember, you are a physical extension of the universe. You're always growing. You're always changing. Love is patient and love is kind. Be patient and kind. And take notes on this show. You cannot be happy. You cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. One of my favorite shows of all time. Shout out to Jessica and her misery. Thank you, Jessica. Talk to you all next week on Reality Spirituality.
Yeah. Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's the new experience. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. Reality Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Reality Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Reality Spirituality. Oh, now we getting real. Getting real. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get down. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Real good. Now, that's what I'm